So moving ahead today, as we know, our subject basic electronics, reference syllabus, GTU, chapter number 5, that is FET and its biasing. And in that, we are going to start now JFET characteristics. JFET characteristics. Okay. Characteristics. Okay, so basically two types of static characteristics are basically found. Number one is output characteristics, or it is also known as train characteristics, and number two is transfer characteristics. Transfer characteristics for JFET. Okay, so out of that, first we will see that is train characteristics, or you can say output characteristics. Okay, so basically it will be like this. This is your drain to source voltage VDS. This will be your drain current. The characteristics is like this. Okay, let's say I name it this point O. This is A. This is B. This is C. And let's say this is D. Okay. Okay. Let's say I denote this point. This is VP. This is VR. Okay. At certain VGS, let's say 0, for example, 0 volt. Okay. 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 So the curve between drain current, curve between drain current and drain to source voltage, that is VDS, with respect to gate and source voltage as a parameter. Gate to source voltage as a parameter is called drain characteristics or output characteristics. So basically it is plotted between with respect to ID and VDS. Okay, keeping VGS as our parameter. Okay, so in this basically uh, few regions has been found. First region is known as ohmic region. Ohmic region. Ohmic region. Okay, so curve OA is known as ohmic region. Okay, in this region, so this region OA is ohmic region. Okay, so here ID increases. See, ID increases linearly with VDS. ID increases linearly with VDS obeying Ohm's law. And since it is obeying Ohm's law, it is known as a ohmic region. It is known as ohmic region. So that is for OA. Now curve AB. Now curve AB. So here in curve AB, ID increases at reverse square law rate, with respect to VDS. So ID increases slowly compared to ohmic region. Hence, reverse bias voltage across gate to source voltage also increases. Okay, reverse bias voltage across gate to source voltage increases VGS in curve AB. Okay, so when VGS is increasing, depletion region grows Okay, see here, when VGS is increasing, so depletion region grows. Okay, so as depletion region is growing, so it will reduce effective width of channel. Effective width of channel will be reduces. So at VDS is equal to VP, at VDS is equal to VP, at VDS is equal to VP, at that is at point B on the curve, the channel width is reduced to minimum value. It will reach minimum value of the channel width, and that point is known as pinch off point. That point is known as pinch off point. So the VDS at which the channel pinch off occurs is called pinch off voltage. When we at a VDS at which channel pinch off occurs, what do you mean by channel pinch off? So effective width of channel is reduced to its minimum value. Okay, at that time it is called pinch off voltage, and that is known as VP. Clear? So as ID increases, as ID increases, ID is increases slowly compared to ohmic region. So hence reverse bias voltage VGS is increases, hence depletion region grows, and hence effective width of channel is reduces. It will reduces to its minimum value. The point where it becomes its minimum value, it is known as a pinch off point, and the VDS value at which the pinch off occurs is known as a pinch off voltage. That is known as a VP. That is known as a VP. Clear? Okay, so that is pinch off point, VP. Okay, the curve BC is known as pinch off region. Pinch off region. It is also known as saturation region, or it is also known as constant current region. Here constant is almost constant. Here current is almost constant. Okay, so it is also known as a saturation region or constant current region. Okay, or saturation region. Clear? So in this region ID remains almost constant at, and it is reaching its maximum value, and that is known as IDSS. IDSS, when it reaches its maximum value. Okay, and the ID in the pinch off region depends on VGS, and VP, and mathematically it can be written as ID is equal to IDSS 1 minus VGS upon VP whole square. So this is the equation of drain current. Okay, this is the equation of drain current in this pinch off region. Okay, the derivation of this is beyond our syllabus, so we are not deriving basically this equation, but we will use this equation. Okay, and for this the circuit arrangement for plotting this JFET is like this, that we will see that what are the circuit arrangement basically, that we will see now. Okay, so till this it is we know that this is our pinch off region, and the CD point is known as breakdown region. CD point is breakdown region. So in this region ID increases rapidly. Okay, VDS is also increased, ID is increased rapidly, and this happens because of breakdown of gate to source junction due to the avalanche effect. Okay, due to avalanche effect of gate to source junction, basically breakdown occurs, and hence it is known as a breakdown region. This region is known as a breakdown region. Now we will see the circuit arrangement. Okay, so how these output characteristics has been measured. Okay, so basically as we know, this is our gate, source, drain. Here voltmeter has been connected to measure the current. Ammeter is connected. Power supply VDD is given, but to make it vary, here we put a potentiometer, variable resistor. Let's say that is R2. Okay, so that it can act as a potentiometer. Okay, here voltage would be VDS. Voltage would be VDS. To measure the gate current, voltmeter is connected here. Okay, again at gate supply, VGG, but VGG negative because N channel. This is my VGG. But to allow variation, I put resistance, variable resistance R1, let's say. So this would be the circuit. Okay. So this is a circuit as meant to plot our GFET characteristics. Clear? So here we can have gate current. Here we can measure drain to source voltage. Here we can measure drain current. Clear? So as you know that our curve is VG, curve is VDS. Here ID, we at different value of VGS, we are plotting this curve. Okay, so these three parameters should be measurable, and that can be achieved with this circuit. Okay, now before going for transfer characteristics, we will see, so first of all, FET structure. So a single-ended geometry view I am going to draw here. Okay, so basically, see here, this is P-type substrate under which we are using N-type channel. P-type diffusion has been done. Okay, so this is my source, this is gate, because to diffusing P-type is connected internally. Okay, so this is my gate terminal, so this is entirely source, so this would be drain. So current flowing direction would be like this, ID. From here also current flowing direction would be like this, because current entering from source and leaving to the drain. So this is single-ended geometry of JFET. Okay, so here diffusion is from one side only. Here diffusion is only from one side. So it uses a P-type substrate, P-type substrate on which N channel is epitaxially grown, is epitaxially grown. So a P-type gate is then diffused. P-type gate, P-type gate is diffused into N-type channel. Okay, so both P-type diffuse gate and P-type substrate, both P-type diffuse gate and P-type substrate serving as a gate are of low resistive material, are of low resistive material. Thus, penetration of depletion region, thus penetration of depletion region into N-type channel take place. Penetration of depletion region into N-type channel take place. Drain current ID follows the path as shown in figure. Okay, so here drain current flows as in figure. Okay, from source to drain. So this is our FET structure. Okay, and this is single-ended geometry of JFET. Clear? So now we will see second, transfer characteristics. First we have seen output, or you can say drain characteristics. Now we will see transfer characteristics. Okay, so transfer characteristics will be like this. Sorry. So this point, this is our drain current ID. This point is IDSS. This is our VGS, and this point is VP, or it is also known as VGS cutoff. This point. Okay. So this is transfer characteristics. So transfer characteristics are also known as transconductance curve, which give us the relationship between ID and VGS, which gives us the relationship between ID and VGS for constant VDS, keeping VDS constant. In earlier, we are keeping VGS constant. Here, we are keeping VDS constant. Okay, so adjust VDS to some suitable value and increase increase VGS in small suitable steps. In small suitable steps, if you go on increasing VGS, if you go on increasing VGS, that is, let's say -5, -4, -2, -1, 0. So that way, if you go on increasing VGS in a small suitable steps, you and note down the values of current and then put them together, we can have a curve which is known as a transfer characteristics. Okay, so if we plot a graph with VGS along horizontal axis and ID along vertical axis, we will have this curve, and it is known as a transfer characteristics. The upper end of the curve has IDSS, that is drain current value maximum, and lower end is indicated by voltage is equal to VGS off, or it is also known as VP. Clear? So this is for N channel. For P channel JFET, channel carriers are, you see here for N channel JFET, the majority carrier will be electron. For P channel JFET, the carrier will be only chain, and that will be holes, and the polarity of VGS and VDS are reverse. Polarity of VGS and VDS are reverse. Operation and characteristics will be similar for N channel and P channel JFET. Clear? So this is the characteristics of JFET. Okay. Now we will see various FET configuration. FET configuration. So basically, in BJT, we have seen which configuration, that is common emitter, common base, common collector. Okay, in that we had emitter, base, and collector. So similarly, in FET, that is field effect transistor, we have common source, common gate, and common drain, because here we have source, gate, and drain. So we have three corresponding configuration for with respect to BJT in available in FET, and that is common source, common gate, and common drain. Okay. Okay. So common source. First of all, I will see how you can draw the common source. So this is common source, for example. Here, this is gate terminal, this is grounded. Okay. Let's say this is input, and let's say this is output. So input is given between gate and source. Input is given between gate and source, and output is at drain. Output is at drain. So source terminal is common, hence it is known as common source. Common source terminal. So in common source terminal, input is given at input is given at gate, and output is at drain. Okay. Now next. This is common source. Now common drain. In common drain, let's say this is my drain. Input is given at in this is, let's say, input, and output is here. So here in common drain, drain is common between input and output. So input is given at gate and output at source, output at source. For common gate, let's say I draw it circuit like this. This is gate, this is source, this is drain, this is input, here we have output. Okay, so in this is common gate. Input at source and output at drain. Input at source and output at drain. So these are the various configurations of FET, just like in BJT that we have studied, that was common emitter, common base, and common collector. Clear? So this is FET configurations. Okay. Moving ahead. Biasing. Biasing is in ohmic region and active region. Biasing in ohmic region and active region. So first of all, we will see biasing in ohmic region. Biasing in ohmic region. So biasing in ohmic region, in that for basically that will be gate bias, or it is also known as gate bias, or it is also known as fixed bias. Gate bias or fixed bias. So the circuit would be, for this biasing, would be like this. This is source, gate, we have resistor, let's say Rg, and power battery Vg, G minus plus. This is my gate terminal. Between these two we have VGS, gate to source. Then we have here, let's say RD, and battery VDD. Let's say current flowing through this is ID. Okay. Okay. Drain current is flowing ID. Okay. And let's say this is my VDS, where I will get output. Okay. So this is the N channel JFET has been out. So here negative VGG is used to ensure that gate to source junction is remaining in reverse bias. Okay. Okay. Since it is in reverse bias, no gate current will be flow. No gate current will be flow. Hence there will be no voltage drop across RG. Here RG plays vital role when operation of DAC is concerned. Okay, so it has a very little to do with DC operations of amplifier, and we are going to write down observe only DC operations. Okay, so here there is no major role of RG come into the pictures. Okay, so fixed bias VGG provides a voltage VGS. Since there is no gate current IG, there will be no drop here, so VGS would be nearby same. Okay, since IG is 0, this implies IG into RG is equal to 0. Okay, so at input side, VGS, this is VGS plus VGG is equal to 0, applying KVL at input side, and hence VGS will be negative VGG. VGS will be negative VGG. Put this as equation number 1. Now, as we know that expression of current, that is ID, is equal to IDSS 1 minus VGS upon VP whole square. Okay, okay. Now, this current ID, this current ID causes a voltage drop across RD. There is current flowing ID. So there will be a voltage drop across RD. So let's say voltage drop across RD resistor is ID into RD, and hence V out is equal to VDS is equal to VDD minus VRD, and that is nothing but ID into RD. So put this as a equation number 2. Okay, now see here, since VGG is fixed, since VGG is fixed, VGS is also fixed, hence this circuit is also known as fixed bias circuit. First observation. Second, since the bias circuit uses two batteries, that is VDD and VGG, it is also known as two battery bias circuit. Two battery bias circuit. It utilizes two battery. Third point, FET has a high input impedance that we have observed and studied earlier. Okay, so to make advantage of it, RG should be as large as possible so that input impedance of the circuit remains always high. So upper limit for RG will be up to 1 mega ohm. Upper limit for RG would be up to 1 mega ohm. So this is the biasing in ohmic region. Biasing in ohmic region. Okay. Now this is biasing in ohmic region. Biasing in active region. Biasing in active region. So biasing in active region is basically self bias, then voltage divider bias, then current source bias and source bias. Okay, so first we will see self bias. First we will see self bias. So in self bias, here there is RS across which we have PS. Here we have RG, which is also grounded, so I connect it like here. This is my gate terminal, this is my source terminal. Across here we have VGS. See, that is always, here we have VGS. Okay, here RD through which current ID is flowing, and this is VDD. Okay, so this is the circuit. This is the circuit. Okay, additionally here RS comes for the self bias purpose. Okay, output VDS here. Okay, so only see here, In previous case, we have two batteries. Here only one battery. So only one drain supply, no gate supply is available. Gate terminal is connected through RG to the ground. Through RG, it is connected to ground gate terminal. Okay. So when drain voltage is applied, okay, a drain current flows. When drain voltage is applied, drain current is flow even if no gate supply is there. So id is producing a voltage drop across. Basically when id is flowing through source. So when it is flowing, there will be a voltage drop across rs as well as rd both, and the voltage drop across rs is of my concern, and that will be it into id into rs. So the voltage drop produces at rs, the voltage drop produces at RS reduces this gate to source reverse bias voltage required for the operation of FET. Hence, this RS is known as feedback resistor also here, because it is providing feedback. Okay, so it is also known as feedback resistor. Its function is to prevent any variation in FET drain current. Okay, see here, Vs Vs source is equal to ID into Rs. This is my Vs. So that will be ID into Rs. Gate voltage Vg is Ig into Rg. But since Ig is 0, it will be 0. Vg will be 0. Now, as we know that Vgs is what? Vg minus Vs. But since Vg is 0, VGS will be minus Vs, and minus Vs means minus ID into Rs. Minus ID into Rs. VGS is equal to. Okay. Now, see, let's say consider rise in ID. Let's say ID is increased. Let's say consider ID increases, drain current is increases. If drain current is increasing, hence Vs will be increased. Vs will be increased. If Vs is increased, this is nothing but minus Vs. If Vs is increased, that means VGS will be reduced. Since VGS is reduced, effective width of channel is going to be reduced, and since effective width of channel is going to be reduced, drain current will be reduced, and hence biasing has been achieved. Okay, see here, VDS, output voltage VDS is VD minus Vs. VD minus Vs. VD is what? VD is voltage at this point. So that is VDD minus IDRD, and Vs is what? Minus ID into Rs. So here this will be VDD minus ID RD plus Rs. So this is the equation of VDD, and this is VGS. Okay, clear? From this equation, see, from equation of VGS, I can write down that ID is equal to minus VGS upon RS, and hence from this equation we can plot a graph like this. That is, if I keep this ID and this is as VGS, so this self bias line is available, which is indicating the slope, So this is a self bias. Okay. Voltage divider bias. As we know, voltage divider bias, or it is also known as potential divider bias. Voltage divider bias or potential divider bias. So circuit would be again modified. See, source resistance Rs will be there, Rd will be there, VDD is applied. Now in here, just like as in voltage divider bias, earlier we have studied in BJT, the circuit would be like this. I name it as RG1 and RG2. This is my gate terminal. Let's say this is voltage VG. At this point, let's say voltage is VG. This is here we have VGS because this is source terminal, this is drain terminal. Okay, so this is circuit. So here RG1 and RG2 is connected on gate side between VDD and ground, hence named as a voltage divider bias or potential divider bias. Okay, so gate is reverse bias so that IG will be 0. Gate is reverse bias, hence IG will be 0. Hence applying potential divider rule. So as per potential divider rule, VG is equal to VDD. See, this will be potential applying potential divider rule. This will be VDD into RG2 upon Rg1 plus Rg2, that is total resistance. So this will be this, and VGS, as we know, VGS is VG minus VS. Okay, so from this we can say that VS is equal to VG minus VGS. And what is VS? VS is nothing but ID into RS. So ID into RS is equal to VG minus VGS, and hence I can say that ID is equal to VG minus VGS upon RS. And what is VG? VG is this VDD into RG2 upon RG1 by plus RG2. So total. So that is the thing for ID. We can have value of ID. Now, what is VD? VD. So VD is equal to at drain voltage. VD is equal to VDD. This is my VD. VDD minus ID into RD, that we know. So I can say VDS is equal to VD minus VS. VD is, we know, VDD minus ID RD, and VS we have already ID into RS. So I can say VDS is equal to VDD minus ID RD plus RS. Okay, and we know how to find out ID, that we have equation already derived, VG minus VGS upon RS. So if VG is very large, compared to VGS, ID is approximately keeping constant, hence biasing we can achieve. Biasing. So this is voltage divider bias. Okay. Now source bias, which is very easy. Source bias. So here the circuit would be like this. At source also biasing has been provided. Up till now we haven't provided biasing at source terminal. So here it is also provided. So at input side the loop would be like this. See, this circuit I modified. At here we have VGS. Here we have VGS. So I can draw it like this. Okay, so applying here, see, gate current IG will be 0. So IG into RG drop, I consider it as a 0. Okay, IG into RG, I consider that as a 0, because to provide negative reverse bias, we keep IG as a 0. We have IG is equal to 0. So applying KVL, we have minus VSS. This is minus VSS plus VGS plus this is RS, and current flowing is ID. So plus ID into RS is equal to 0. Hence my ID is equal to VSS minus VGS upon RS. Okay, and since we keep VSS larger than VGS, hence I can say ID is approximately equal to VSS upon RS. So with this we can provide source biasing also. we can provide source biasing. Clear? And last is current source bias. Current source bias. Okay. So in current source bias, we will use BJT also along with this. The circuit will be like this. This is BJT, our NPN transistor. This is RE. Okay. This is grounded at gate. This is base and this is gate. At gate we have RS. Okay. Here it is VDD is connected. Okay. Here current flowing is ID. Okay. Let's say this is collector current. So let's say put it as IC. Okay. So here basically we have considered two supply current source bias circuit. Okay, minus VE and minus VT, two power supply has been used. Here BJT is emitter bias BJT is used. So it's collector current IC. First of all, we have derived in earlier chapter. IC will be is equal to VEE minus VBE, that will be VBE upon RE. See, this derivation we have derived already. Okay, so this is the thing. Now if we keep VEE larger than VBE, VBE will be around 0.7 volt only. So I can say this will be approximately is equal to VEE upon RE. So emitter biasing has been achieved. Okay. Now the drain current of JFET ID is equal to collector current as per this. So ID is equal to IC. ID is equal to IC, and as we know IC we have already derived. So now let's consider this ID is equal to IC, so that will be VEE upon RE. So that will be ID. Okay, so the current source bias provide, so hence we can achieve biasing with respect to uh, VE, with considering VE and RE. So biasing has been achieved here with the help of current source bias. Okay, we have used here current control device, that is BJT. Okay, and hence we have achieved biasing. So this was current source biasing.